What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be going over the current Chargers wide receiver room, and who has the best shot of making the final roster come September. With the conclusion of the draft, 6 additional receivers were added through both the draft and undrafted free agency, bringing the total number of guys in the receiving room to 11. Before we do that however, let's look at Jim Harbaugh's history of carrying receivers while he was with the 49ers. During his 4-year tenure in San Francisco, he flip-flopped between keeping 5 and 6 receivers on the roster. However, as the league shifts to a more pass-heavy centric game, I think it's more than likely that they'll keep 6 receivers, even with Greg Roman at the helm, since the group is pretty deep from a talent perspective. In terms of breaking down who's making the roster, we have to divide the receiver room by position to get a clear picture. Let's get an overview of the X-receiver spot, where we have Josh Palmer, DJ Chark, Brendan Rice, and Leon Johnson III. Josh Palmer is virtually a lock, given his chemistry with Justin Herbert, as he's now the longest tenured receiver on the roster. New addition DJ Chark from the Carolina Panthers is also a surefire pick, as he brings a veteran presence alongside his big playability. Brendan Rice and Leon Johnson III also have similar body types, so I'd expect them to compete for the same role as well, though with Rice's imposing physicality, I can see him edging out Johnson, other than the fact that the Chargers picked him, albeit in the 7th round. At 6'5", however, Johnson has a ton of upside, as he really only played 1 year of FBS football, so I'd expect him to be brought back to the practice squad and continue to develop, as he's shown flashes in his short time at Oklahoma State. Moving on to the Z receiver position, we've got Ladd McConkey, Cornelius Johnson, Simi Fehoko, and Jalen Johnson. I've got Ladd here at the top, and obviously he can play inside or out, but with the struggles Quinn Johnson's had outside, I think splitting McConkey out wide will be more beneficial for QJ's growth. Behind Ladd, I have Cornelius, as I view him similar to that of Juwan Jennings from the Niners, a third down specialist who can do the dirty work in the run game and keep drives going. Simi Fehoko and Jalen Johnson will likely both be cut, unfortunately, as Fehoko was largely a practice squad guy in both Dallas and Pittsburgh, and really made it with the Chargers due to injuries further up the depth chart. I don't necessarily think Jalen Johnson is better from a talent perspective than the other receivers in the room, which is why he'll likely be gone as well. Lastly, we've got the slot receivers, where we have the pair of TCU receivers in Quinn Johnston and Darius Davis, as well as Jalen Gill from Fresno State. As mentioned before, QJ and Ladd could easily flip positions, but playing him here as a big slot will likely boost his confidence, as he obviously has the tools to be a top-tier receiver. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been a first-rounder to begin with. Behind him, we've got Darius Davis, and even though he's the biggest contributor as a receiver on offense, his special teams value is undeniable. An all-pro level returner during his rookie campaign, the kickoff rule changes further highlighted the importance of a designated return specialist. Alongside that, special teams coordinator Ryan Ficken, who led one of the top groups in the league last year, was one of the few holdovers from the previous regime, and will definitely have a say about Davis, as he pushed to draft him over other guys such as Xavier Gipson with the Jets. Jalen Gill could compete as a kick returner as well, as he had 500 return yards the past 2 years at Boston College and Fresno State. However, I think that Davis is still the more dangerous returner, meaning that Gill will have to be let go. With that, it brings the current receiver room down to 7. There's a pretty good chance they keep all of them, but given their track record, I think they'll end up cutting one more guy. Unless the front office decides to move on from Palmer or QJ before the season starts, or an injury occurs, which I definitely wouldn't rule out, as it's the Chargers after all, Cornelius Johnson might be the odd man out. Even as a draft pick and one of Harbaugh's guys from Michigan, there's an overlap of guys who have similar size profiles and skill sets in the room that are simply better at this point in time. He'll definitely be brought back on the practice squad after he clears waivers, but will likely be elevated on a game-by-game basis, depending on the matchup. Who knows, maybe the Chargers end up cutting out other positions and keep Johnson instead. Anyways, let me know down in the comments who you guys think will make the final roster, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace out.